So in classwork, that's the basics. That's how a day starts every day for a dancer. Can you think of that one thing? I mean, and classes kind of stay the same. They don't really change. I mean,
Right.
you do bar, you do center, you do
The
across the
structure's
floor.
always there.
Yeah. What to this day is, after all these years of dancing, after 100 years of dancing, what is still that one moment that's your favorite in a class? You know, the arc. Can you think of that?
I mean, if I had to pick like the type of combination that tends to bring me the most joy, I love Grand Allegro. It comes at the very end of class, and it's like dessert. You know, you're moving, you're taking up the most space, and you're moving the biggest of anything you've done yet. And I find that really freeing and joyful. So I think that if I were to pick a type of combination that I love to do, that would be it. As far as my favorite moments, I guess they could be any. I mean, it's a really wonderful collective experience taking class with the same people every day, watching each other, supporting each other through, you know, struggling with our bodies. You know, so I think there's probably different moments of every day where you sort of feel that more. Maybe it's like a quiet moment in the corner with one of your peers. Where
Do you still take class even though you're going to be retiring after the season is class?
I will take class every day until this season is over. Mm-hmm. Once this season is over, I'm sure I will continue to take class, but it won't be an everyday thing. And I think that I'll probably take time away from taking class every day. I'd like to kind of broaden my horizons as far as exercise is concerned and open myself up to some things that I've never been able to do. And I'm also interested in taking other types of dance classes.
One of the things that I think of when I think of you being part of this company is that you all, at the very beginnings, I always thought you were the comedic person. You had acting skills, mm-hmm. And flair for taking those crazy roles, zany. And then things changed, and I think that you let the serious side develop, which was really interesting.
Yeah, I don't know if it's so much let the serious
or
side
that others
develop,
let you
or
do it.
Being given more opportunities mm-hmm. to do so. Like I certainly did roles of a more serious, even lyrical nature, but they just weren't the types of things that people remembered me for. You know, the comic roles just really stick in people's head. And I feel like in order to be successful as a funny person, you have to be very serious about it. It's not a slapsticky, you know, yaka kind of thing. You know, there's a particular way you have to portray comic roles in a theater type setting, you know, because there's so much distance. You have to be very deliberate about how you deliver, precise about how you, and earnest about how you deliver it. So I think there's a level of seriousness that is required to be funny. You know what I mean? Yeah. So though they seem like really divergent things, I don't think they are. I think you're psychologically, emotionally, artistically, you're going to the same place to access both things.
Yeah, and as an audience, I don't think we think of that. We just appreciate whatever we're seeing. In the last couple of years, favorite roles?
A lot of them. I feel like I've been really blessed to be sort of hit with a lot of really excellent roles, probably particularly within the last 3 or 4 years. I just danced Rite of Spring, and that's
got your stamp on it.
That's
really.
like my favorite thing that I've ever danced. It's really, I came up with a good quote the other day. I'm sure I can't repeat it when I was talking about that role, but I think it captures what makes me unique as a dancer and what my particular skill set is. I feel like it captures that better than anything else I've ever done. So that's wildly satisfying. And then the roles that I'm doing in this rep, Niccolo Fonte's work, I absolutely love it. He created Bolero on this company, and I had a fairly prominent role in that, which was a delightful and dreamy experience. It's a way that I love to move, but I don't necessarily get a chance to do a lot because it is more lyrical, but it's lyrical with a very contemporary and grounded sense. So those, you know, his works have been great. And then circling back to Trey's works, I've known Trey since 1997. We've been friends. We've been coworkers. I've worked with him as a choreographer. Well, with him as a choreographer. So to come back to his roles, and particularly to some that I watched other people do year after year after year, like Speak would be one of those, and like a Samba would be the other one. We did very, very little cast switching in those years with James, so there were not a lot of opportunities to test out other people's roles. Like, those roles belong to those people. So I watched them dance, those roles danced, and I had lots of thoughts and ideas about, you know, what I would do if given the opportunity. So to circle back to them and get my shot to do them has been great. And then my experience working with Christopher is incredibly satisfying. I mean, I talked about Rite of Spring already, but in a broader sense than that, like, he's choreographed a number of works on this company, and I've had the pleasure of participating in some form in all of them. And he's just incredibly fun, and I mean, all choreographers that we work with here are challenging, but challenging in different ways. I feel like Christopher really allows me to bring a level of creativity and intelligence to the choreographic process that you know, I don't get to access all the time.
When you reflect on, you know, closing that chapter after this season, what are your thoughts? I mean, being on a stage and performing is what it is.
Right. Well, honestly, right now, I try not to think too much about it, because I feel like you can probably really make yourself crazy thinking, like, this is my last show.
And why did you, by the way? Why did you
choose for this to be my last show? Well, as I was saying with the repertoire, you know, I dance 3 ballets out of 4 in this rep, and they're of a really diverse range, and they're all works that I really love. And I can't think of a more fantastic way.
Did it just come to you one day? I mean, you thought
one day. Oh, no, it didn't come to me one day.
Kind of was like slowly
I've been thinking
evolving.
For like, you know, 5 years I've been
because you could certainly continue to dance if you wanted to.
I could, but you know, you have to make that transition at some point, and I'm very, very challenged and satisfied by the work that I'm doing in the back office. Not only the, you know, artistic work that happens in the studio, but the other types of work that I'm doing. I'm very challenged by it. There's plenty of it to do. I'm looking forward to doing more of that. And I want to start the transition when I feel like there's enough of my life left to really establish a new life that I love.
Thank you, Anne.
Yeah, thank you.
And I don't know what one says when you go on to this chapter, but merit anyway.
Thank you.